The 2021 Acura TLX is the top-selling luxury sedan in St. Louis, and St. Louis Acura has an unbeatable selection. The TLX has the highest safety rating, and right now you can get $2,500 in loyalty conquest offers with 0% financing for up to 36 months. We offer free pickup and delivery, and we'll also buy your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. St. Louis Acura, committed to becoming better than ever for you.
Hey, welcome back into Weekend Joe, driven by Munganess St. Louis Acura and Munganess Alton Toyota right here on ClaibsOnline.com. As you might have already seen earlier in the week, the story came out of the Cardinals, the Springfield Cardinals pitcher, Dalton Roach, who was attacked by a bear, and we're lucky to be joined right now by Dalton. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Luckily it wasn't too bad.
You know what's funny? First, I know, when it comes to animal attacks and ones that pick up steam like this, I don't know if you remember last year, the story of the guy that was out hiking or running, and he had a run-in with a cougar, and the cougar walked him back. I had that. So that happened around this same time last year. I was looking through my notes. I had him on last year, October 15th. So today, as we record this, it's October 20th. So it's just that time of year, I guess, when animals are just going after whoever.
Yeah, might be onto something there. Might be a time of year that we got to quit going out in the woods.
So for people that aren't familiar yet with the story and haven't gotten all the details yet, you were hunting on family property and you saw a bear just kind of walking around.
Yeah. So I'm just in my tree stand, normal hunt. Been out there for a few hours already. Only seen a couple deer. And then I look off to my right side and happen to see a big black bear.
And so as you see that, I mean, what are the initial thoughts going through your head? What are you hunting for first, by the way? What season is it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, what I'm hunting is whitetail deer. So
okay.
I'm bow hunting. All I have with me is my bow. I don't carry a pistol with me. Didn't have bear spray, anything like that. Typically speaking, bears aren't something I really worry about. I know they're out on the property, but they're not something that I particularly sit there and be worried about. So I honestly, right when I saw it, it's the first bear that I've seen, especially on that property. So I thought, hey, this is kind of a cool experience, and happened in my phone right there. So I started recording because more for my own personal archive than anything is like, it's a cool experience. It'd be nice to get a little short video of him and just kind of see what he does.
And it came up to you and put its paw on you.
Yeah, eventually it did. Like initially the first, route it's walking on, it looked like he was going to stay, a good little distance ahead of me and just kind of walk out front. Then he made a little turn, but what's weird about that spot is I'm kind of on the inside of a corner. So he was still on a big main trail when he made that first turn to get closer to me, but he wasn't really coming at me yet at that point. He was kind of walking another big main trail that we mow and that we use to get around. And so I still at that point, I didn't think he had any intentions of being right on me. Then obviously he came right under the tree. And of course, shortly after that, I decided to turn off my phone so that I can be ready for anything that might happen.
I know I'm not a hunter, but I know when it comes to hunting, a big thing is about respecting nature and respecting the animals and everything that goes with that. Is there a point in time where you are thinking in your head that you might have to kill a bear or do something to save yourself?
I mean, really up to that point, nothing showed me that bear was being aggressive or anything. Honestly, I don't think it knew I was there. I mean, I'm sure other people are going to have their opinion on it, but I mean, being the guy right there in the woods with them, he obviously smelled something. And like I said, I had a couple deer walk by me not 10 minutes prior. So I don't know if he smelled me, if he smelled the deer. I mean, there's a lot of things that could have been going on for that bear, but he wasn't showing me any forms of aggression. He's not growling, not didn't charge the tree, obviously. So for me, even to that point, I never was really worried as far as I think I should shoot this bear. He's getting too close. Because like you said, I mean, we're out there to respect nature. I mean, yes, we're hunting and, it seems like we're going to do something. We want to kill animals, but I mean, I'm out there observing nature. It's a beautiful thing, super scenic. It's a way to get away. And my plan, even when he was getting close, is I don't disturb the bear. Hopefully the bear doesn't disturb me. Obviously that changed when he decided to come up the tree, but yeah, I mean, nothing that he was doing did I think was wrong on his part. He was just a curious bear. And, there's things I might have been able to do different, maybe holler at him earlier and stuff. But in the end, I mean, luckily we're okay. And we are where we are.
So the bear actually bit you. Where did it bite you?
Yeah, so kind of on like my mid right side. I mean, directly on my back. Again, kind of a bite of curiosity. It kind of reminded me of a dog gets a new toy. It's kind of curious. It doesn't really know, so it just slowly bites on it. That's kind of the style bite that I thought was happening. It didn't seem crazy aggressive. I don't think it even knew I was a human. It just was doing what wild bears do. They're trying to figure it out as much as we are.
Now you're in the off season, so this isn't a situation where we've heard all the stories in the past where a baseball player will like tear an ACL playing basketball or get into a motorcycle accident, something like that. This is far different. What is do you have to report this to the team? How does that work?
The team does already know about it. Obviously, news spreads, and even if they wouldn't have reached out to me, I would have at least probably let them know, like, hey, just like I'd get a bunch of rabies shots and do a whole thing. But fortunately, it's just a couple like small punctures, so I'm already back to training. I mean, it didn't take any time off. I'm very fortunate for that. But yeah, so they do know about it, and they're aware that I might have questions for them. I don't foresee any, just because obviously I'm doing well and everything's going and progressing like it should.
Yeah, how does that go? I mean, do they call you on that and say, "Hey, we're hearing stuff," or do you reach and do you shoot someone a text and say, "Hey, got bit"?
I mean, the way it went this time is they ended up reaching out to me because obviously, the night it happens, I'm more so worried about, what do I have to do next? Like, get my wife, figure everything out, end up going to the hospital, do the work then. And then the next day already, they were already reaching out to me as soon as I could have gotten to them. So if it would have been a more serious situation, probably reach out sooner. But since everything was doing well, it just kind of progressed in a pretty natural way for both of us for how weird of a situation it was.
So I know I'm far from the first interview that you've done from here. I know you've had a lot of people reaching out to you. Have you had any, I guess, who would be the biggest name that's reached out to you to maybe check in on you and see how you're doing? Or where have people been coming from with this popularity that you've acquired from?
I mean, it's kind of come from all over the place. A lot kind of from the St. Louis area. So like KMOX, we've been working with them a little bit. So they're kind of one of the bigger outlets that we've done with, other than kind of local news here. His name is Sean Ritter. He runs an outdoor show out of Milwaukee, and one of his co-hosts is, Paul Wagner, a former big leaguer, played with the Brewers for a while and stuff like that. So they've kind of reached out. Actually, I got to recheck something. I'm not a big hockey guy, even though I'm from Wisconsin. I grew up in a basketball family, so didn't watch a lot of hockey, but had a former hockey player, Cam Jansen, reach out today, and actually he's going to kind of do a little talking and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of it's fun. I wish it would have been under different circumstances, obviously, but I mean, being able to reach new connections and meet new people is always fun. I mean, obviously different circumstances would have been better. But fortunately we're all right.
Yeah, that could have definitely gone a different direction. And hey, maybe now from here, some sort of sponsorship deal comes of it. Your agent kind of gets on there and sees what he can
Yeah, you
we
never
can get
know.
for you. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those like, I mean, obviously now relooking things, this was a big learning experience for me too. I mean, like I
right.
said, I've never had a bear in the woods with me, let alone be on my tree. So, I mean, a lot of this was me trying to figure stuff out on the fly and, kind of go through the situation, how I was seeing it play out and what I thought should have been happening and stuff. A lot of everything says, you got to show yourself earlier. And, in the end, that might have been true. He might never have come up my tree, but at the same time, we've had probably even that bear on a camera right in that spot too. So I've seen where he walks before. He's never come into the actual area that stand is. He's walked those main trails, but that's as close as he's gotten. So I never really thought, okay, today's the day. He's definitely coming in my tree. I mean, I've done a little research on him and stuff like that, but I haven't been worried about a bear because it's not typical that a bear gets in your tree and actually bites at you. There's bow hunters that have bears in the tree all the time. I mean, that's more common than people know, but the abnormal part was the fact he actually started nipping on me. But like where everyone's saying, you got to yell early, you got to do this. Even when he's in my tree and I finally turn and start yelling, it's not like he just left and he disappeared forever. I mean, that didn't really deter him a ton. It got him down the tree, but I mean, he got down the tree slower than he came up the tree.
Yeah.
So I obviously showed him I'm there, but I don't know if me yelling earlier would have still had his curiosity the same if he had kept coming. I mean, it's so hard to know. I mean, it's a situation that not many go through. And obviously, fortunately, I'm lucky to come out of it pretty unscathed and doing okay. But yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Dalton, good to hear that you are doing okay from all of this, and we will see you at spring training then in a few months. And I mean, I'm sure your teammates are going to have a lot of fun with this when they see you as well down in Jupiter.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we're going to hear plenty on it. I'm
Thank you
glad
so
that,
much.
at least for me, this experience can kind of turn into a big learning experience for all hunters, not just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can imagine that I'm going to hear plenty of it for the next while.
Thank you so much, Dalton.
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure to be on.